The last phone call. On the night of September 14, 2021, Tacoma, Washington, was under siege by a violent storm. The rain poured in heavy sheets, lightning split the sky, and the sound of distant thunder rolled endlessly across the city. In a quiet two-story house on Willow Creek Drive, a woman named Clara Reynolds sat alone in her bedroom, staring at the raindrops streaking down her window. It had been exactly 1 week since her husband, Mark Carter, died in what police described as a tragic single-car accident. But Clara knew in her heart that it hadn't been an accident. Mark was cautious, a man who double-checked every lock, every light, every corner of the road. He was not reckless, not careless. Something about his death felt wrong. At 12:14 a.m., Clara's phone lit up. She froze. The name on the screen sent shivers down her spine. Mark Carter. Her late husband. Her chest tightened, her breath quickened. With trembling hands, she answered. Clara. Mark's voice was low, rushed, almost desperate. Hide, now. And then the line went dead. The silence that followed was louder than the thunder outside. Clara's hands shook as she locked her bedroom door. Lightning flashed, and for a split second she swore she saw movement in the hallway, a dark shadow gliding past. She held her breath, the pounding of her heart filling the room. When Tacoma police arrived minutes later, they found no intruder, no forced entry, but what they did find was disturbing. A trail of muddy, fresh footprints leading from the back door directly to Clara's bedroom. Detective Alan Harris took the case. He tried to reassure Clara, but his words did little to calm her. What unsettled her most was what the morgue told police that night. Mark's phone, the same one that had just called her, was missing from his belongings. The memory of Mark's last words before his death gnawed at her. The night before the accident, he had confessed he'd uncovered something dangerous at work. He never got the chance to explain. 2 nights later, the phone rang again. Same number, same name. Clara answered, her voice cracking with fear. This time, there were no words. Only slow, heavy breathing on the other end. She screamed into the phone, demanding answers, but the line went dead once more. The next day, Detective Harris told her they had traced the call. It led to an abandoned warehouse on the edge of Tacoma, the same place where Mark had once done contracting jobs. Clara insisted on going. The warehouse was cold, damp, and smelled of rust and rot. In the center of the vast empty floor was a single table. On it sat Mark's phone, the screen cracked, still recording. Clara pressed play. If you're hearing this, Mark's voice echoed through the speakers, they found me. Don't trust anyone. Her stomach dropped. She turned toward Detective Harris for answers, but instead, she found herself staring into the barrel of his gun. You should have stayed quiet, he muttered. The storm outside battered the warehouse roof, thunder masking the sound of the single gunshot that followed. Hours later, police reports claimed Clara Reynolds had taken her own life in that warehouse, right beside her husband's phone. Official cause, suicide, but those who knew her never believed it. Clara had no reason to take her life. Instead, they whispered of a deeper truth, a conspiracy buried in silence, a dangerous secret Mark uncovered, and a detective who ensured both of them would never speak again. The case was closed, but the storm of that night never left Tacoma. To this day, some locals say they can still hear a phone ringing in the darkness near Willow Creek Drive, a call from the dead that no one dares answer.